Hello, everyone. Welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and this is the special Christmas edition of Immigration Live with Lee, where you can see I'm not in my normal location. Okay, I'm not in Grand Rapids, Michigan today. Today I'm in Barranquilla, Colombia, South America. So this is our Christmas trip to visit family, and we're really excited to be here. It is 82 degrees here in Barranquilla. Pretty incredible seeing how back in Michigan it was 8 degrees. Very cold in Michigan, so I come here and it is the exact opposite. So, um, but I'm still here. Last time I reported from a site other than my home was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for spring break. So that was a spring break edition, right? So this is Christmas edition here in beautiful Barranquilla, Colombia. So again, I will ask people when they join to let me know where you're joining me from, because maybe you're on vacation too, because that'd be cool to see. And also don't forget to post your comments in the comment section and your questions. I had said before last week that I might not have this live. Well, guess what? I'm having it anyway. Figured it out. We're here. We're in it to win it. So please post your questions and comments so I can provide information to you if you have questions. I'd love to see what those questions are. There's lots of stuff going on. Just because the holidays are here doesn't mean that politics and immigration really changes a whole lot. So there's probably still a ton of questions that people have. So post your questions, okay? And first and foremost, again, let me know where you're joining me from, okay? We always have regular friends that join us. So let us know where you're joining us from. If you're joining us on the platform, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, those are the platforms that we do these live sessions on. You can join us from those platforms and post the questions in the comment section, okay? So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any information that I wanted to put out there before I came here to Colombia. So there's a lot of stuff in the news. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. This proposed mass deportation stuff is taking the limelight in the news. So if anyone has questions about how that relates to their immigration process, this is a good forum for that, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So I have a question here. This is from, let's see, Naveen Bailey. Hi, how long does a fiancé visa take for someone living in India trying to come to the United States? I'm in California. So you must be the sponsor and you're wondering how long it takes for a fiancé that you have who lives in India, okay? So typically speaking, fiancé visas are a solid year or longer, okay? It depends when you start and stop recording the time it takes, but typically from filing all the way to it getting to the embassy with the interview, it's a solid year. It could be a little bit more. Again, lots of changing coming with politics and all that, but typically speaking, it's a solid year to a year and a half for a fiancé visa, okay? It takes longer when there's issues, okay? When issues come up, immigration has questions, they send requests for evidences, it just extends the time longer. If it's an absolute slam dunk perfect filing, most of the filings I do, it's about 15 months to get that interview, okay? Let's see here. So I got a question here. So this is Simmer Engineering, I believe it is. Simmer Eng. My spouse is deceased. Sorry to hear about that. In February this year. So sorry to hear that. However, I lost the phone with our pictures. And to file, I need a social security number, birth certificates, and death certificate, which I also don't have. Okay. So I'm assuming that your spouse is a US citizen and she would be the one who would be sponsoring you. I'm going to post this, which is a link for you to schedule a time to talk to me. This is way too complicated. I have way too many questions to be able to answer this to your satisfaction on this live broadcast. Okay. I just posted a link. Um, I'm doing promo links for consultations for the next week. Okay. You can book your time for the next week all the way to the end of December for only $90. Okay. So if you book that, I'll be able to talk to you and I can answer your questions and figure out where you are, what you need to do. I strongly encourage you to do that. This promo is for the holiday. So we want you to be able to use that promo. You got to schedule it before the end of the year to get the promo. Okay. But the consultation can actually take place after the end of this year. So it could be in January. Okay. But use that link, and that goes for anyone, not just the person who had that question just now, okay? Um, okay, let me see here. Let me go over to my YouTube channel. Hey, Mr. Grinch. Good to see you, my friend. Feliz Navidad. So you're in Costa Rica. I'm sure the weather is very similar in Costa Rica as it is here in Barranquilla. As I said, it's low to mid 80s, which is spectacular, okay? It's not freezing cold like it is in Michigan. So thank you, Mr. Grinch, for joining us every week. So you and your lovely wife are in Costa Rica. I'm so happy for you. Holidays in a country with an amazing climate. Oh, just a second ago, I went to refill my water for this live session, and a gecko was climbing across the ceiling. You don't see that in Michigan, you guys. Okay, so but you do in Costa Rica, you do in Colombia, and many South and Central American countries. It's magic. Okay, just like the magical lights behind me. Whoops, wrong shoulder. The Christmas tree behind me. So again, wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. Okay. If you don't celebrate Christmas, hopefully you're celebrating something that brings you together with your family. Okay. Let's see. I had a question that was sent to me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This question was from a YouTube channel. Is in response to a video I did about a no decision after your citizenship interview, which is scary and frustrating for a lot of people because you wait, and you go to your interview and you don't get a decision. You don't know what to do. What does it mean? So this question. I passed my test and interviewed, but the officer can't make a decision. She referred it to the supervisor. That's the oldest trick in the book because I don't have a joint bank account. We've been waiting for 4 months since August of 2021. Could you help me if this is denied or granted? Since then, I never received any letter and they want more documentation. So this this has happened so much under the Biden administration. Okay, I'm not knocking Biden. I'm knocking his administration of immigration law for sure because so many people have had these sorts of problems when they think that they've gotten through the waiting period and all the trouble and all the issues, and then they are told that they can't be approved. Well, the agents defer to their supervisors all the time because it buys them time because then they can give a request for evidence or whatever it is they need to do. They will delay a decision. Most of the time I've had clients have had this happen to them. It doesn't happen too often, but generally speaking, for me, most of my clients go through the field office in Detroit, which is a phenomenal office. We get requests for evidence or correspondence from immigration from the field office usually pretty quickly, within a week or two at the max. So if you're not getting that, that's definitely a problem. So I will tell anyone who's listening to this live, that link I put up there, if you've got questions and you need help with things like this, that's where you need to do it. You need to schedule a consultation so that I can talk to you, find out all the facts, all the information about your case to help you figure out how to make sure that you are in the right, okay? Okay, so that's that question. Then I've got, one second here, folks. Okay, so the next question I have is in relation to parole in place for the military parole in place, not the Biden one that is no longer around, but the military parole in place. And then I'm going to go to my YouTube followers who are asking a bunch of questions. So stand by, YouTube folks. So hello, great video. Just one question. My husband is in the Navy. I want to apply for military parole in place, but my asylum case, individual hearing, hasn't been scheduled yet. Should I apply for a parole in place directly, or do I need to close my asylum case first? Thank you so much. I remember this question last week, but I'm going to answer it anyway because it's a question that comes up because nobody knows how the process works. Okay, I've been an attorney for 20 years. I've been doing immigration law for about 13 years. So I've come across this many times. So the question is, parole in place. Should you put your asylum case on hold? Never, never. Why? Because it takes so stinking long for the asylum to process that if you think that you got a better solution and you close down your asylum, then you lose asylum. You can't move forward with asylum. So you keep asylum open, and it's possible to do other things while your asylum case is pending. That's what I recommend to most people. Again, talk to me before you do anything, okay? I know you're hearing my words now and you're like, oh, that's what you told me to do. No, I need to get more information about your case because there's a certain point in time where your case is in a very precarious or difficult situation or spot in the immigration court, and you don't want to mess with anything, okay? So if that's you, you need to click that link. It's a promo link, so it's a reduced price from my normal consultations. So do that. You have no excuse not to do it. That is, if your freedom and your future is important to you, it's not that much money, okay? So click the link, schedule the consultation, okay? Okay, so let me go back over here. We're on my YouTube channel here, a bunch of friends and followers from YouTube. I filed VAWA self-petition September of 23. I got an RFE in March of 24. I submitted the RFE in April, which was really quick, well within the period of time that they asked you to. I never got a decision until today's date, and I never got a social security number or work authorization. Is this normal? I never get a decision until today's. Oh, so you mean even through today, you still don't have a decision? Is it normal from September of 23 for VAWA? Yes, it is, because VAWA is one of those humanitarian-based processes that take freaking forever. U-Visa, VAWA are different than lots of other processes, and they do take a long time, okay? The government, immigration is very careful with these processes, so they take forever to process. And it's not just them processing your request, but it's waiting for your priority date to come to be able to move forward with that, okay? So all these things take a long time. So September of 23, it's been over a year. That is a little long, but if you go to my YouTube channel, which you're joining us from, Philip, I think I've done a video that tells you how to go to see if the government is actually meeting their requirements for processing times or not. So check out that video if you need help. You need to click the promo that, again, I'm putting on here right now. You need to click the promo to schedule a consultation with me so I can get more info from you to figure out how to help you, okay? So that was that. But thank you, Philip, for joining me. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. This is Jimmy. Jimmy, I think you joined us last week as well. I recognize your picture. When you talk about prior criminal convictions, misdemeanors, charges, and felonies, and possibilities for waivers available, this is a big conversation. I agree with you, which is why I tell people that have a history like this, instead of trying to do a free Monday where I have maybe 30 seconds to answer a question, that promo link, which is why I've done this promo. The promo, which I put up there, is a reduced price to help people during this time of the year. Jimmy, make sure you click that link. Make sure you schedule that consultation, because that's the only real way for me to analyze your situation. If you have just general questions, well, I have videos on my YouTube channel you can check out, but I'm assuming you've got more specific questions specific to you. So if that's the case, book that promo consultation. It's good for the next week. You can book it anytime after this next week, but it has to be booked before the end of next week, before the end of December, okay? Okay, Lynette, thank you so much. Happy holiday to you too. So thank you for joining us. I know that you were here last week as well, so thank you kindly for joining us yet again and for supporting the channel and everybody who likes to listen and get this information. So thank you, Lynette. I really appreciate it very much. I know that we're in touch with you outside of this Monday session, so thank you for tuning in. Okay, so let me go over to Instagram. One thing about hot climates is you drink a lot more water, okay? So I'm drinking a lot of water today. Okay, so what do we have here? Again, please post your questions in the comment section. I think you guys know the drill, but it's always helpful for me to remind you because I'm not seeing a ton of questions. But let me see here. Yeah. So Natasha, I think that's what it is. Yes, that is what this live is all about. It's all about you asking your questions, posting your questions. I mean, you can listen to what I have to say, but the point of this every week, and I've been doing it for months and months and months, for many different countries, 3 different countries I've been doing this, it's to answer your questions. So please ask a question. And I'm going to wait a little while to see if you ask your question. So let me see here. Okay. Okay, here's a question from, I'm not going to even pronounce these screen names because they're not like Sam I am. It's not, yeah. So, hello, I'm married to a U.S. citizen and we applied for a green card in 2023 and I got my work permit, but still waiting on my other permit. I feel like it's taken forever and USCIS website keeps changing the time. Yes, you could not be more, that could not be a more accurate statement. USCIS is constantly changing things, whether it's intentional or just out of necessity. You're right, it does change a lot and it feels like it takes forever. I will say that anytime there's a big political change in the United States, things run even slower, right? So I've been trying to encourage people to do things before the end of the year, before Trump takes office again, not because of anything I fear that he's necessarily going to do to immigration. Certain things, yes, but not everything. But it's because transitions make wait times stretch out longer and longer and longer. So if you can get in ahead of the curve, then you're going to be in a much better position than waiting until things change after Trump takes the presidency. So do it right away. So yes, things are taking a while. I'm married. Okay, here's a question. I'm married with a felony, but it's been 15 years. Okay, I'm not seeing the rest of that question. So, if let's see, Long VA Daily has more information to provide, I'd be happy to analyze that. But yes, felonies create issues for immigration. If you're the sponsor, not so much. If you're the beneficiary, then 100,000% it creates massive problems. Okay. Okay, so that question. All right, let me go down. Okay, let me go over to my other platform. So Instagram, again, if you're joining us from Instagram, post your questions so I can answer them, okay? Same thing for Facebook and my YouTube channel. We always get lots of questions and people from YouTube. So, okay. Okay, so that was I was just looking at Jimmy's second part of Jimmy's question. There are a few videos about prior convictions. Anyway, I will book a. Okay, yeah, okay, Jimmy, that's great. I think that'll be a lot better for you. Better use of your time. Um, I try to do the best I can with these videos, but any small thing can change your fact pattern, and it's better to just talk to me in person, okay? And again, I do everything remote, so it's not like you have to fly to freezing cold Michigan right now. But I'm here if you want to, okay? Um, okay, all right. So what else do we have here? Okay, so for YouTube, I think that's all the questions I'm having for YouTube. I know this week is a tough week for people because people are doing other things like the holidays, like Christmas. Um, so if you don't have questions, I'm gonna try to do this again next week. I'm gonna be here again in Columbia. It seems like it's going well. So if you want questions next week, please plan ahead and have your questions ready. Um, so we'll see. I'm not sure what is going to happen next week, but your questions now, I'd be happy to answer. I've got one right here. Okay, this question, green card. So this is in response to a video I put on YouTube. Green card without leaving the U.S. I posted a video about that. My dad was petitioned in 1996, and I was born in 97. Would I be grandfathered? A grandfather derivative under the USCIS? I don't think that's what you mean. 245I. My brother, who was born in 89, was able to adjust through 245I. Um, so that video I did on YouTube um, has a lot of the information that this particular person really is asking. That's what the video is all about. Okay, so whether you could be considered a derivative, it depends when you were in the United States. That's what with this 245I, which is the Life Act, if you've ever heard of that. That's for people that were sponsored. Somebody sponsored them for the green card process. They entered the United States before, I think it was like 1990 or something. There's a period of time where you have to have entered the United States in order to benefit from this. Check out my video because I talk about what that is. It's like April of 1991 or something. And if you weren't in the country at that point in time, then you will be able to do it. Okay, grandfathering is a touchy thing. I think typically speaking, if somebody's parent was able to do it, if you were born, okay, this individual said they were born a year after the petition was filed. I think that the chances are good that this person would be able to be grandfathered under the 245I Life Act. I would tell them, I don't know if they're watching tonight. Um, you need to book an appointment. This is way too complicated for me to just off the cuff. This is an issue that's very nuanced and very specific. I don't want to give bad information. Um, that's why I do consultations. Okay, so go ahead and schedule that consultation, which is we have a promo until the end of next week, end of December. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post this one for you all to see. My brother and nephew just received immigration interview appointment in February of 2025. Excellent. My mom is the sponsor and I am the co-sponsor. They have been waiting for a quota since November of 2015. The rest of the question says, oh, okay. So it's not a full question on here. So I'm going to wait to see if the follow-up to that question is posted. Otherwise, I'm going to drive on because here's a question here. Hello, sir. This is Inderpal. You're a British citizen married to a U.S. citizen. Adjustment of status is pending. USCIS received the response to the RFE request 159 days ago. Holy cow. I got to say, Inderpal, I'm not sure where you're located. Are you in California by chance? The reason I ask specifically California, because I know that has some of the longest wait times. of any office, field office, or area in the United States. Um, yeah, 160 days is a very long time to wait for a request for evidence to be responded to. So what comes next is they respond to your request for evidence. If that doesn't satisfy them, they'll issue one more request for evidence, and they'll give you usually the 87 days or whatever it is to respond. So that is potentially the next thing that would happen to you. I have a feeling that you're actually going to get your decision, right? You're going to get the decision. You're going to get the scheduling of the. So I can't tell by this whether you had your interview or not. Either you're going to get your interview scheduled very soon, or you're going to get the decision because you already had your interview. You got a request for evidence based on the interview. So that is what happened next for you. Okay. Um, okay, Interpol. Application is in the National Benefits Center. So you're still waiting for the government to process these things. It hasn't even been scheduled for an interview yet. So if they issued you a request for evidence, then the next thing you're going to get is actually a notice for your interview to move forward. Okay. Okay. If you need a consultation, again, I put that promo consultation link up there. So you can always book that consultation to talk to me and we compare notes more fully. Okay. Okay. So we've got this question from Bancy Tummies. I was filed in October 23rd, but by my son now. How long will it take to get answers? So Bancy, it depends on what your process is. So what is your process? If you're still on, just jot in the comment section, what process are you doing? I mean, this literally could be any process, and I don't want to pick and choose a process just to give an answer. I'd rather answer yours, okay? So tell me what process it is and more fully what your question is. If we can't get to it today, you can always book that promo consultation, and I'd be happy to talk to you directly, okay? Let's see here. Okay, here's the follow-up to this question. My nephew was 11 years old in 2015, and now he just turned 21 last month. What should we do to keep him eligible? I hear about the Child Age Protection Act. Should we file something? So if your nephew's already 21 and if you haven't gotten what you were hoping to get, then sadly, it's probably too late because the Child Age Protection Act is all about prioritizing requests for kids that are going to turn to adults. Okay, so what the government tries to do is process it quickly and prioritize it. It depends on so many things. So yeah, so I don't really have an answer for you because there's not enough information for me to really answer the question. So I will say that Child Age Protection Act is a thing that the government will prioritize stuff in order to make sure that a kid doesn't age out. Sounds like your nephew's already aged out. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. This stuff is very delicate. Timing is everything with immigration, and if you drop your guard, then something like that could happen to you. So it's better to be proactive. If something like that's happening in the coming months or year or years, get out ahead of time. You know, talk to an immigration attorney before that happens because in immigration, once things are done, they're done, and you got to start from scratch. You got to refile whatever process you have. Okay, so hopefully that answers your questions. If not, that link is above, and I would invite you to schedule that promo link to get a discount on that consultation so I can talk more directly. Let me go back over to Instagram. Our friends on Instagram are a bit quiet tonight. So I will ask you to post your questions. It's 8:30 right now, and as you all know, as some of my friends like Mr. Grinch knows, I do this from 8 to 8:30. So I'm not going to be able to answer any more questions because it is past my time, and it's a little bit slow with a lot of these questions. So we're done. So thank you again for joining me while I'm down here in beautiful Colombia, South America. Thank you again. Tune in for future. I don't think it's going to be this next coming Monday, but the Monday after that, absolutely, I'll be back in freezing cold Michigan. Happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. There's a lot of other wonderful holidays during December. So happy holidays to everyone, and thank you for joining. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful holiday.